Hello and welcome to Jamie TV. If you've been watching these streams, then you will hear right now that as of yet I've not fixed that super long reverb tail that we've been experiencing. I'll get to it, I promise. So welcome, thank you for joining me. If you are watching from the future, then greetings from the past. If you are in the chat now, or if you're watching right now, then please throw something into the chat so I can say hello. I see Jade's here already. Welcome, Jade. Thanks for being here. Mateus will not be able to join us today. Mateus watches all my streams recently. He's like a super fan. But Mateus's work are making him do actual work this week. So he's watching on catch up. So where am I with this track? Let's press that button. Yes, there we go. All right. So I was laid awake last night thinking about this problem, right? Because I had this issue. I wanted to bolt this section. Where's my mouse? There we go. I wanted to bolt this section onto here, which I did, and added some drums to it. And I thought, you know, that'll work. We'll go 5/4 into 13/8. That'll be fine. But when I listened back to it, it was really lumpy, and I tried a couple of things, tried changing the tempo. It felt like it slowed down drastically, and I was like, I don't know what to do with it. So I thought I'll think about it and I'll come back. And I was thinking, like last night, I would maybe Google it and I would work out, is there a way of knowing what tempo a different time signature should be so that it sounds like is there some maths that you can do to make it sort of sound like it's all running at the same speed? But as I was like thinking about it in bed last night, I thought, well, going 5/4 into 13/8, it should actually sound like the same speed. So it's something that I've done with the music, probably with the drum pattern, that makes it sound like it lags. So let's just go back to that bit there. We'll have a couple of bars of the 5/4 bit into the 13/8. Right, now it's not the tempo. The tempo, I really am going to have to sort out that reverb tail. It's not the tempo that's the problem. I think it's what is happening with the bass. The hi-hat pattern changes from being straight like this to going into a triplet feel. But the bass, I just copied it across from the first part. And the bass in the first part is just a drone. It's just a sustained note, if you like. So it's going from this, Let's just lose those drums so you can hear the bass a bit better. So it's going from pumping back to just being a solid note. That's not going to help it sound like it's still motoring along. So I think the first thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to change that and then see what happens. Now there's a little trick that I do in Cubasis 3 when I'm trying to, if I've got a bass part and I'm wanting to maybe match the hi-hats or something to the bass part, there's a little trick that I do. And it works the other way around, of course, as well. I don't think I've ever tried it in Logic Pro, so I don't know whether that's going to work. I'm just going to try my little trick and see. So, you know, maybe the first thing I should do is just go and have a look at Sampletron and sort that reverb tail out. It sounds absolutely epic, but obviously it's going to be too much. So let's just go and grab Sampletron and go into Effects. Now, if my keyboard was armed to this track, that would be good. There. Okay, let's have this view here. Right. I only pressed one note momentarily. It's so long that I thought it was a stuck note. Now, I'm just going to take the delay off and turn off the reverb. Now I'll play it. Right, so maybe it's more of an epic release time then than the reverb tail. So how do I change that? Do I go into right? Yes. Release. Release is turned all the way up. Okay, let's try it now. Right, yeah. So if I press this button, if I remember rightly, the way this works is, here we have some controls for the amplitude envelope. And, of course, Sampletron has 3 voices. So we've got a voice loaded in here, here, and here. We're using all 3 of them. So when I go here, if I've got A pressed in, then these controls apply to the first voice and etc, etc. So if I go to link and turn the release time down, I want it to be quite long. I just don't want it to go on for 8 hours. Right, okay, now let's see what... Oh, hang on, just put the effects back on, because they're going to add to it, obviously. That's the reverb back on. And this won't scroll with my mouse wheel. Delay back on. Okay. Right, now let's see what it's like now. We'll just put the last couple of chords on. There. That's a bit better. You know, I could have done that yesterday, but no. Every time I stopped the track to talk, I had this massive long tail off the choir. Which was probably extremely annoying for everyone watching. But never mind. Nobody died. Okay, so, although I'm beginning to wonder if my audience did, because there's like only Jade here, so thank God for Jade. Okay, right then. So I was going to do that bass. So here's my little trick. If I just go to drums and just expand this so we can see the MIDI properly. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lasso around all these drum parts and I'm going to join them together. And then I'm going into the MIDI. We're going in. That's the hi-hat down there at the bottom. Right, so we'll select all those. Right, now I want to copy those. Copy. There. Right, now we'll go into the bass part. And put the doodah at the beginning of the bar. And then we want to paste, right? Paste. There we go. Right, so there's all the hi-hat notes. So my thinking is if I move those bass notes, those hi-hat notes to where the bass notes are, it'll save me a whole lot of playing in or typing. So I'll do a bar and let's see if it works. I have a better view for this, don't I? There. Okay. Oh. Let's have a loop section around this bit. Right. Now, what's that like? Right, so those notes are all going to be really, really short for bass. So let's just grab them all again. And then we'll make them longer. I'll need snap to bar off. What's it going to be? Is it going to be a 16th note? And they've all moved. I didn't want that. Right, I've pressed undo and it's like undone the last like 3 moves. Let's try redo. Okay. I really need to sort out this bug do apple. Okay, let's try again. So I will select all of the bass notes. And then, getting nice and close, that's going to be too long. So, 32nd note. Is that not what they were? Maybe they need to be an octave higher. Yeah, to be punchy enough, they're going to need to be an octave higher. So let's do that. Transpose an octave up. Okay. Right, I'm going to do this free on them. So take snap to grid off and we'll just make these longer by hand. Okay, that's going to be better. So now I need to shift these to the correct bass note positions, right? So bear with me a moment, I'll just dig in and do that. Okay, let's have a listen to those notes. Right, okay. That works a lot better. Now, I think I'm going to have to adjust the sound a little bit because whilst that Moog bass sound is pumping quite nicely, whilst it's playing eighth notes, if you like, in the 5/4 bit, although actually I think that makes it 10th notes. But anyway, it's pumping quite nicely, but it's not pumping enough with these shorter notes, with the need to be shorter notes because of the triplets, or they'll overlap. So I need to make some adjustment there. Let's just correct this MIDI length here, and let me think. If I think between a combination between changing the octaves that the MIDI note, that the bass notes are on, and changing the sound slightly, maybe we can make it work. So I'll just solo it. We'll go into Model D. Now, let's see, what can we adjust in here? Cut-off frequency could make it cut better. Bring the attack type down. Right down. Yeah, okay. And decay time. Let's have a play around with that in the track not soloed. Right, now, I want these notes to be on as low an octave as possible and still audible. So, you know, like a compromise between being audible, like punchy enough in the track to be audible, but as low as possible to have that, you know, fat bottom end that I really want in the track. I really want to kind of fill all the frequencies with this track. I want it to sound huge. So, was it a mistake bringing this one up an octave? Let's just take that one back down and we'll see. How would these ones fare if they were taken down? Yeah, I mean, with that sound now, with the filter adjustment I made there, you can still feel those notes. I'm wondering about maybe letting the later ones climb though. Let's see what it sounds like with those really low for the first half and then climbing. I think that works. I like that. I like that. But does it fix my problem of the weird... I mean, moving from the 5/4 section into the 13/8, I don't mind if it sounds slightly strange, if it sounds slightly lumpy. The whole thing is supposed to feel off kilter and uneasy, but it was just too. It just wasn't quite smooth enough a transition. So let's go from here, right? We'll go 4 bars before the change and have a listen. Does it work better now? I think it does. I think that works. Okay, right. So that brings about some peace of mind because I was concerned about that. Now, I have like multiple ideas of what I want to do with the track now. First one is, I think those triplet hi-hats could possibly be replaced by toms, by the toms from Slammer that I added to the intro yesterday, or the first section yesterday. I think maybe they could come in the latter half of this section and help to build it towards whatever it is that's going to happen next. So I wonder if I could do the same thing that I just did. Will it have remembered that copy? We'll not risk it. We'll just go and do it again. Right, so I grab all these hats and copy. Then we go to Slammer. Go to the beginning of this section. And actually, no, there's an easier way to do this. I will simply copy this, bring it down here, and then remember to switch off copy, and we'll go in to the editor. Apologies for that. That was an interesting sound. And we'll delete the notes that we don't want. And I'm going to delete the first half of them as well. Is that 4 bars worth? It is. Right, I'll delete them. Now, where are the drums? I have an interesting thing to show you. A short time ago, I did a stream about the Sonido tempo pad. Where's my overhead view? Which is over here. And I showed you how the reason I suggest this particular drum pad as being the ideal one for iOS users is because it comes with software. Well, 2 reasons actually. One is that it's got an extra USB-C out, so you can power it from the mains without having to drain your iPad. And if you're like me and you've got a cheap shit USB hub that doesn't like powering too many things at once and causes things to stop working, then you can just plug that straight into the mains. So all this one is doing is transferring data. I found that to be immensely helpful. And the other thing is that it comes with software so that you can change all the CC messages and everything. Basically, when you get a controller like this, you usually get some PC software that allows you to edit everything, including the colors of the pads and all sorts of things. And this is the only pad I'm aware of where there's an equivalent piece of software for iOS. And you may be able to see the camera's kind of the colors are not looking fantastic on the camera. Maybe you can just make it out. What I've done is, because I was using Hammerhead, and Hammerhead has 8 sounds, and I was struggling to find where they were on the pads. So what I've done is I've made myself a preset and saved it in the editing software. So all the Hammerhead drums are red, and where there is no I've got the wrong track selected at the moment. But where there is no note, if I go and select hammerhead, right? So where there is no note, what? Oh, I've got that selected. Right. Well, so where there is no note, it's green, and green means it does note. And then where it's red, we've got a drum sound, right? So just, just a simple little practical thing that I find incredibly helpful. So now, what we need is, we need to know where the drums are for slammer. So I'll just unselect hammerhead. Okay. I'll go into the MIDI. And we'll see what's where. Right, yeah, I remember from yesterday. Okay, so the 3 tom sounds are on F, G, and A. So I don't know how many of these toms I want to leave in. I don't know whether I want one. I don't know whether I want to replace all the hi-hats or whether I just want some. So let's see. We'll just put them all onto one tom for now. Right, I'm going to need to bring the volume up on those. Let me just set up a loop around this section. Okay, so my feeling is that maybe we could have like, so many, like delete some of these, keep some in, and gradually have them all in at the end. So gradually increase the amount of fills, I suppose. So let's see, where do we want the first one to be? Right, let's try get rid of those ones. Now, which one is that one? So, yeah. Lose those. Then that's the same as the first time. Right, take that one out. that's just a little too much at the end. Just maybe move, just lose that one. Yeah, okay, I like that. Now, what I'm going to do now is to spread these toms, to spread this MIDI for the toms over the 3 toms. So I'll just go in and grab some notes and move them around. All right, okay. Now let's have a listen to that. Okay, I like that. I like that. Now, here's the thing. Now, recently I've been working on, when I'm mixing a track, I'm just thinking ahead a little now. When I'm mixing a track, I've been working on having everything in the mix, panning wise, either in the center or hard left, hard right, except for toms, because I like that travel across the stereo picture for toms. And everything I've been mixing recently has been a combination of synths and electronic drum sounds and guitars. And it's been very clear to me which things need to be panned where. I'm not so sure in this track, actually. It'll be the first time I've done a track that's synth only and mixed in that way. Unless I do decide to bring some guitars in, but I wasn't kind of thinking that way. So I need to think about what I am going to pan to each side. But it occurs to me that these drums, because I have them very, very low tuned, and in the first section I want them to be audible, obviously, but I want them to be sort of sound like they're in the distance. And the way I had the track mixed, actually, when I did the playthrough at the beginning of the stream, that was effective. That worked. Now, there's more instrumentation here, so I've had to bring the volume up. So I don't know if I might have to consider using some automation to bring the volume up, or EQing them slightly different, so that but I don't want to lose that low tuned sort of muddy kind of sound that I'm using at the beginning of the track. So I might have to use another instance with a slightly different sound for this section. I mean, I could use a different app and a different set of tom sounds. That's an option, but I think it's nice when you have a sound present in a track earlier on, and then later in the track, that sound returns. So, in other words, I've no idea. But maybe the panning can help with this issue. So let's have a look where they're panned to. And I think for now what we'll do is we'll just use the panning inside of Slammer to help with this issue, and then maybe I can sort of set up the panning, because when I export these drums to Real Audio, I will get them all onto their own individual track before I mix, which is a bit of a pain in the ass because Slammer doesn't have multibus out. I did get in Clive Grand's ear about it, but as of yet, they've not done as I said. They obviously don't know who I am. Okay, so let's have a look at these toms. So we'll go to here now. Which is which tom? Just go onto a different bank on my Sonido thing. Right, so that is the highest tom, middle, lowest. So highest tom, I'm going to pan quite far left. It's interesting. It seems like when I get to the end, it's suddenly all the way to the left. A bit like as if there's not that much movement in this section here. Let's try just putting it all the way to the left. And then, right, so that's... And then the lowest one will go all the way to the right. And this one will go something like here. No, I'm not liking that. Alright, okay, that's better. What you got to eat, Jade? That works. That works. But I just had this feeling there for the last bar. For the last bar there, instead of having those toms in triplets, let's just keep them going. So what would that mean? It would mean... I need a note there and there, and might be too much, but Let's have a row of low ones there. No, we need a space there. I think I like that. Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking I'm going to have a baked potato. I think that's what I'm going to have. I've been thinking about it since the start of the stream, wishing I'd eaten before I started. I think I've decided on a baked potato. Yes, that's something to get excited about. All right, so I'm liking this, and I want to just take this back now and just have a listen from this section into the last section, and then we'll move on and work on something else. Oh yes, and what I meant to say was, I think now that I've got those drums panned and they're in their own space, I think I can bring the volume down. So I'm going to have an experiment with that while we're having a listen. Just one. Oh, just one baked potato. Well, no, in truth, it'll probably be a couple of big taties, you know. And tuna, probably tuna, I think. Taties, tuna, bit of salt, more coffee. That'll be me sorted. Right, okay, so I have an idea for you. I can see that there are people watching who are not in the chat. So if you're watching and are being shy, don't be shy. Just chuck something in the chat so I can say hello. I have an idea. I've had this idea since I listened to this track just before I started the stream. Right now, so here's a question for you. When you are working on a track, and you have ideas for where it could go, you know, changes and how it will evolve, do you ever have like absolutely ridiculous, crazy ideas and then ponder upon whether or not, you know, just upon the magnitude of the stupidity of that change? Because I had this idea this morning that maybe after this section that I'm working on at the moment, so just to give an overview, if I just go like this, right? So here's my track. That's the overview of the whole thing. So we've got the 13/8 section, then we've got the little pause, then the 5/4 section. The ARP comes in here, and then it goes into the change back into 13/8. The toms come in. Now, obviously, here I need to do something. So it's either going to go back into the 5/4 section, but with an added element or some change, or, you know, maybe some lead will come in over the top of it. But whatever I do, if I put that there, then I want it to be different again in some way. So my idea was, what if after this section here, I made it 4/4 and did a dance arrangement, like like a spooky dance track arrangement. But but if I did that, I have no idea how I would end it. I mean, it would kind of leave me in a bit of a strange place for sort of getting out of the track, I think. But I'm just curious to hear what these kind of chords and these kind of parts that I've got here, what they would sound like if I put a dance beat in 4/4 at the end. So the thing about when I have crazy ideas is, because obviously I have a lot of ideas about what could possibly happen, but it tends to be the maddest one that appeals to me, and seems to be the one that I should explore. So that's my question. What do you think about that? Just do it. You see, Jade, I knew you were going to say that. All right. But I'm not there yet with that because I need to do some other things first. How loud are those toms going to be in this first section now that I've brought the volume up? Not bad, actually. Yeah. Yes, Jade. Exactly. What have I got to lose? And no, I'm not paying an engineer £1,000 an hour. I'm doing it all myself, as is the way of this is how we do music now. And I guess I could pay myself £1,000 an hour. Which reminds me of something that Freddie said when I took him to school the other day. He said, we were waiting in line. So because Fred's autistic, when I take him to school and the kids line up in the yard outside ready to go into their classrooms, I stand with him most of the parent. Most of the other parents don't do that, but Fred needs me to. So I'm stood with him, and he goes, Dad, you know, you work for yourself, right? Yes, Freddie. Well, why don't you sack yourself? Why? He says, because then you could take yourself back on for less money. The way that boy's mind works. Anyway, there are other things I need to do in this track, but I think I'm just going to do the dance idea because I want to know what it'll sound like. I kind of feel like after this section here, like play the last couple of bars of it. If we just had like a half bar hang there, and then it goes into the dance groove, then that could work. But I've already got a hang over here, and that's how I'm getting into that section there. And I've yet to fill that in with the kind of appropriate atmospherics that I want for it. But I don't know. Let's kind of have a go building the section first, and then we'll see how it might join on. So what would happen? We're going to use the 5/4 section. So if I copy now then, do I need to change the time signature first? I've actually never done this. 4 on the floor and then into it. Yeah, actually. Yeah. That's a good plot. So that would mean then that the tempo would change. Sorry, the time signature would change from right there. So yeah, okay. Let's go into here, and we'll go into time signature, and I'm going to change this to a very comfortable 4/4. Now, it's going to feel like it's really speeding up here, of course. And right, I can close that, I think. Now, do I want to grab the MIDI from the 5/4 section and bring it across? I think I'll just do that and see what happens. I'm intrigued to find out what will actually happen. I'll select all those, and then copy, bring that over here, take copy of. Right, so it's yeah, well, right, so it's 5/4, so there's an extra beat every bar, and it takes up 5 bars, so that makes sense. So all I need to do is go into these bars and change it. Change it appropriately, right? Let's do that. I'm just going to have a bit of a pissy pants around. A spooky howling wind riser. I like that idea. Yeah. I'm wondering, maybe I'll lose the bass part and put a groovy bass in or something. Let's see. Now the second choir part here has exactly the same MIDI. Because all I'm doing is I'm blending two very different choir sounds. Stop twatting the camera, you stupid hippie. Talking with your hands. When you're not even on camera, you knobhead. Yeah, so all I'm doing is I'm blending two different choir sounds with the same MIDI arrangement. So that one can just copy across. Of course, some of these sounds I may not want to include in the dance section. We'll see. Right, so if I just solo those two, right, now we've got this 4/4. Right, now I'm not sure what's going to happen with the arpeggio because, well, basically, if I want to keep that, I'd have to chop out some notes. I'll probably just do that and just see what it sounds like. Probably more important, if we're going to make a dance section work, is what we're going to do with the drums and bass. So let's have a look at the drums and bass. The drums, as they stand at the moment, are like this. Oh, apparently they're not like anything. Right, so I think what we'll do is we'll just change the drum beat completely and we'll just make that a dance beat. Yeah, let's just do that. I'm going to put that 4 on the floor in that you suggested. There, Jade. Why does it do that? When I put in like... I thought that would snap to a quarter note. Okay, so we've got the... Right, let's just get rid of... We'll get rid of all these drums. I'm going to go like this. Set up a loop around one bar. There we are. And I don't think I need this soloed. I just need to mute the bass and mute the... Yeah, arpeggio. And we should be alright at that. Switch these snares out for a clap. Where's the clap? It's hammerhead, so it could be anywhere. There. Yeah, I want to lose those. Let's get rid of the hats as well. Take pencil off. I wonder. Maybe the tambourine. You know, like, maybe the thing here is to go with like a sort of a cheeky, happy dance groove. A groove that's totally inappropriate. And then see if we can make it work. So, what's more cheerful than an offbeat tambourine? Turn that clap up. All right. I think I like that. So if I go here, I hate this about Logic Pro. I hate the scissor tool because I have to press it and then I have to pull it. Why do I have to do that? I've got my thing selected in the right place. Why can't I just press a button that goes split straight away? I don't want to pull it down like a gimmicky little toy. I'm not a child. Honest. Right. I kind of like that for now. We might add more to it later, but I dig that. I'm going to just copy that across so I can work with it. Okay, now I think the key factor here that's going to make it work or not work would be, I think the key factor is going to be what the bass does. So they might leave that one last. And we'll have a look at the arpeggio. Just tap on the clip, then select split. I'm going to experiment with that now. Right, so tap on the clip and then split by playhead. Or by locators. Yeah. There's still more taps than I want to do. I realise that's very picky. But, and it doesn't work all the time, properly all the time when you're in the editor, when you're in the audio editor. Sometimes it does. Sometimes you have to come out of it and go back in to make the split work again. Right, yeah, let's have a look at this arpeggio. Now, I'm thinking right, this bit's 5/4, so there should be how many notes? 10 notes? No, it's more than 10 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, yeah, but I'm not looking at... So I'm looking at it spread over... I'm looking at it spread over 4/4, but it's a 5/4 part, so it's 20 notes. So what would happen if I got rid of these 4 notes here? Right, so what we'll do is we'll get rid of 4 notes off the beginning of each arp. We'll start there and see what it sounds like. of the beginning, did I say? Of the end of each up. So, logically, if I grab those four and delete them, then pull all this MIDI up, and then grab those four, delete them, pull this up, I should have 4 notes hanging off the end to delete. I have. Yeah. That's maths, that is. Okay, so, and now I can smarten that up there. Loop round these 4 bars. Let's have a listen to that. All right, okay. I like it. I like it. It's going to be all down to the bass to make this kind of really work, I think. Let me just have a look at the MIDI that we have here. What kind of a range are these notes playing in? I've got them muted, haven't I? Let's try that again. I think it would be nice, not just in this DAW, but in Cubasis as well. I think it would be nice if when you're in an editor, you had access to solo and mute buttons like you do in Cubase, because the amount of times that you go into an editor and you start to work on something, then you realize that you've got that sound soloed and you don't want it soloed anymore, or you've actually got that one muted and you have to come out and, pain in the ass. So these notes range from C2 upwards. We might have to go a little bit higher for this section. So on my keyboard then. Alright, okay, that works. I'm going to get rid of these. Right. Let's have a little look at this. I can't remember what the chords are. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have deleted that bass just yet. Anyway, I did it now. Let me just have a look at my chords, see if I can remember what I did. I do remember that I didn't write these down. I should have written them in the Darth Vader book. Right, so let's see. We've got maybe I should do that now, actually. Darth Vader book. Right. Okay. I've got a C minor 9. And then I've got did I go? Hang on. I've got why don't I know what that chord is? Just a sec. I should remember this sequence. Yeah, because that's... Yeah, right, okay. So that... That is... Because it's an inversion. It's an F sharp... F sharp minor diminished. 7. Yeah. Yeah, I remember because I was when I did it, I was talking about the tritone root shift. Okay, and then I've got an F minor. Yeah, I should definitely have written these down. So I'm ending on the E minor major 7. So then this one is what? This is... That one's the C sharp minor major 7, and that one is yeah, a C sharp minor major 7. I don't remember doing that. Okay, right, well, that's what they are. Okay. So let's have a look what bass notes I can use then. Where can I put my book where I can see it? So let's see. C, F, C sharp B. Whoops. So if that's a minor 9, I could use that D. Just something really, really simple, like where would that fall? Let's just delete that. It's missed off my first note, and it because I should have taken the loop off. Idiot. But it's not. It's just before the bar. Right, okay. So we'll do a little quantize on those. Right, so my next chord use that 7. Right. So that would make this an F sharp. Would that be better an octave lower? Quite possibly. So that's going to be a C. To a G sharp. And my 7. Yeah, those notes just don't. Think an octave higher. They're not cutting through enough. Ah. What if these notes were a bit longer? That's going to be too long, I'm sure. Oh, no, that's all right. Right, okay, so then we come to that chord that took me forever to work out what it actually is. And it's going to be followed by an E. So I don't want to end this little bass line on the E. I want a C sharp. Try a G sharp there. Then an E. So if it's a major 7, I could use the C. Right. And then the E. C sharp. That's not right. That should be an E. Yeah. Alright, not mega happy with some of these note choices, and I'm beginning to question myself over what that third chord is there. I'm wondering if I've worked that out wrong, so I'm just going to go back to that and just take a good look at that chord. It's going to be this chord here. There. Let me have a close look at that. I know what that is. It is an F sharp. No, it's an F. It's an F minor 6. And what I did, what's confused me, is because of the dissonance was too much for the choir sound of having this C up here. And that's the minor 6 there. So I dropped that an octave. And also because if I did that, it meant that I could have this one long note here that was droning all the way through those 3 chords. What a pleb. Alright, okay, so that being the case then, let's just have a look at what the bass line ought to be then for this. So it's going to be we could use alright. Right, okay, but the thing is, that bass sound is just not, it's not cutting it. And it sounds great for the other part. So I'm thinking maybe go with something completely different for this section. Like, because we're keeping some of the sounds, but maybe just change the bass sound here. Because I think it's going to be the bass that's really going to make this dance part work or not. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back here. I've just realised that I've done something epically stupid as well. I changed the... Right, okay, so going back, what I did was, when this bass sound was a long drone, and I changed it for these like triplet feel shorter bass notes. And instead of doing that on the second bass sound that I set up for the shorter notes, I did it on the drone sound, and I changed the drone sound to suit. What would that have sounded like if I'd just put it on here in the first place? Pretty good. Now I've probably messed up my sound for back here. So I think I'm just going to go back and check that and have a listen to this sound and see what damage I've done. Actually, it still sounds alright. On the beginning of the first note though, when I it doesn't happen after the first note, but when I play this section, the first note always has this like quack sound on the beginning. Which it didn't do then. Right? So start it from scratch. Like that. Which is a cool sound, but I don't want it right there. And I don't actually know how to get rid of that. So that's something that I need to be mindful of and have a look at. Okay, but I've not ruined my bass sound. What's the level like here now? I think I changed that as well. A little bit. I think we're okay. Not as disastrous as it might have been, but what a stupid hippie. Why on earth did I do that? Okay, so now the bass part in... Alright, so let's check the level of the bass for this bit. Here. Maybe a tiny bit loud. Right, okay. Yeah, that settles it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add another track for a new bass instrument. Let's go and grab King of Bass. Now I can grab this MIDI here. I'm going to pull the fader down before I do anything because King of Bass has a tendency to kick in a bit loud. It's just, yeah, a bit more probably. Right, okay, it's a bit more like it already. So I'm going to have a little play with some sounds here in King of Bass. Let's see what we can come up with. We'll have a little pissy pants around with some sounds. Now, one thing that's a bit daunting with King of Bass is that there's a phenomenal amount of sounds in it, which is great. It's great to have presets, but you know, you could be all day looking through presets. So what I might do is just try and grab something that's close, and then I'll tweak it myself. Yeah, don't want a sequence. I love that sound. It's probably completely inappropriate for my track, but I just love this sound. Right. I'm going to have a piss pants around myself. Right, okay, I'm going to change a couple of these notes. I'm not entirely convinced by that note there. So let's see now, that's my second chord, which I have listed as a F sharp diminished 7. So I think I have a wrong note in there. check my codage, make sure I'm right about what it actually is. Let's see now. It is, it's an F sharp minor, an F sharp diminished 7. So, I think that means I've got some wrong notes in my bass line here. That one's right. Yeah, that's wrong. Yeah, that should be an A. Right, and then if it's F sharp, if it's an F sharp diminished 7, then that's the correct 7 note. Okay, now some of the bass notes I'm using here do sound a bit challenging. They do sound a bit outside, but that's the whole point of the track. That was a wrong note though, so stupid hippie. I shall thoroughly punish myself for that. Right, now what happened to my drums? Why am I not hearing drums? What's going on there? That's odd. What's happening? Let's check on Hammerhead. Has that crashed? Right, MIDI from my controller's not triggering it. Okay, let's have a look at the desk. I've not got anything muted or soloed. Maybe it's just Hammerhead's crashed. Perhaps relaunching Logic Pro might be a good idea. Okay, I mean, it's around about the time that I ought to be thinking about ending the stream, but I kind of want to play out the stream with the track as it, you know, at the point that we've reached. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just try relaunching Logic Pro. When things like this happen when you're streaming, it makes you think, I've pressed something, I've done something, it's me. I can't see that it is. Right. Okay, that did not work. So, thinking logically then. Let's go to... I know what we should check. Right, we'll go here to the AUV3. Yeah, press on it and just go to replace. Right, the multi-out bus is selected. I wondered if maybe if it had crashed, it might have gone back to the stereo, and then that's why we're not hearing anything through the sends. Right. Not hearing anything out of... I wonder if I need to reload the preset. Okay, so for some reason Hammerhead had some kind of a crash, and it was like there was no preset loaded into it. Interesting. Has that messed up my levels? The changes I made to the mixer in Hammerhead seem to still be there, so God knows. Right. Okay, well I ought to think about finishing the stream now, because I've got other work to do before I start teaching this evening. So thanks those of you who have tuned in and watched today, watched live, i.e. Just Jade Star. I seem to be winning the most unpopular man in the universe competition today, but hopefully some people will watch the stream later on and watch it from the future. I'm just going to sort this project out so that we can have a listen to it to play out with. So what I've done is I've set it up so that my playhead is at the beginning of the track. It will play through, because you can change the way that if you press on your play button in Logic Pro, you can change the way that play works. Whether when you press play it just goes around the selected region, whether it's cycles or last locator position. So with it set like this, when I press play, it should start from wherever the playhead is, but then when it hits the loop, it will get to the end of the loop and just loop around that bit. Because obviously I'm thinking that this section will, be repeating for a number of bars. I don't know how many, so I'll just let it get to that point, and then I'll let it loop around a few times and end the stream. Okay, right, so yeah. Have a fantastic and awesome rest of your day. I'm going to bugger off now and do some other work and get some baked potatoes. Take care of yourselves and be good people. Be kind, look after the planet, and try not to piss pants about. See you later.